brought up Cam Newton earlier. Let's talk about Cam Newton getting into it with that teenager. At first, I felt really bad for Cam because he's giving out his own time. He doesn't have to be there.
Fuck that kid, bro.
No, listen. He doesn't have to be there to give out his time and all that. And he's there for the future. He's giving his time
trying to help kids.
Trying to teach these kids. But then you told me, and then he's got this guy calling him ass. I'm sure he's gonna
he's like, you a free agent, bro.
He's like, you about to be broke. You're a free agent.
I just hate the only thing.
But then you told me Cam was going, I'm rich. I
hate that.
And I've read that Cam even talks a lot of shit at these 7-on-7 camps. So maybe I'm starting to think if the kid was just chirping back, I don't hate the kid as much. Now I respect him.
I don't respect him, bro. He's being a little dick because he's like at a camp by Cam Newton. He's like, oh, why can't it be Russell Wilson?
If Cam Newton called you trash at a 7-on-7, you're just going to sit there and take it?
Yeah, because it's Cam Newton. Like, I am trash compared to him. What are you talking about?
He doesn't even let you know that.
And this ungrateful little shit, bro. Like, you're at a camp from a former Heisman and MVP guy, or winner, and went to the Super Bowl, was made multiple Pro Bowls.
Didn't dive on that fumble, though.
Oh my God, who gives a shit? Still, he's so accomplished in this. You're trash, bro. You about to be a free agent, bro. If I was Cam Newton, my response is like, "Where's your Heisman at? Where's your MVP? Were you in the NFL? I'm trying to help you and help you guys and teach you guys to become better football players and men. And you're just gonna be a little shit about it."
He kept saying, "Where's your pops? Where's your pop? Like, you want to talk to
like,
the
I'm not
dad?
talking to a kid or whatever."
I was in my head. I was like thinking about I was hoping. It's like he said he wanted to talk to his dad and like have a one-on-one with his dad. And I was like in my head, I'm hoping Cam Newton's pulling the petty move where he's like, "Where's your pops?" And he's hoping like the mom was in there, and like he's just gonna take his mom out in front of his pops and never call her back, and just a power move like that.
If I was that kid's dad, I would beat his ass. And like, you're talking shit to Cam Newton when he was trying to help you and show you how to be a better fucking player.
If Cam was chirping first, like you said, then I respect it.
He wasn't being, I'm sure whatever he said wasn't to the point of being disrespectful as fuck like that kid was being to him. Saying you're trash and you're broke.
What I'm envisioning in my head is Cam Newton threw a very soft ball, because that's all he can throw nowadays, and it went right over the kid's fingertips and got caught, and he said something like nothing too bad, like you almost got it, or like, oh, or something like that, and that kid just popped off because he got clowned by Cam, the guy everyone thinks is ass.
It should be an honor if you get clowned by Cam Newton or somebody on that stature. If they even spit in my direction, I'd be like, oh my God, thank you.
That's a poll question. Would you be honored to be, what was it?
Spat in the same direction as, like, by a player of Cam Newton's caliber.
Would you be honored to be trashed by Cam?
Yeah, I would be fucking honored. Like, what? Like, one of the most famous fucking athletes of the last decade is talking shit to me? Like, thank you, please. You know, you can go on social media and you can get like 500 followers right there. Like, I'm the kid that Cam Newton was talking shit to the other day.
Dude, you see that Cam Newton called a kid a pussy on Twitter? That's me, dude. I'm the pussy.
Like, this kid, like, he's got, I mean, as much as I dislike him, it worked out for him. He's getting all this media notoriety. People know his name now. Like, it worked out.
I don't know. I remember on Bleacher Report, I got the update for it, and they said his name apologizes. And I was like, what? Like, everyone knows this? I don't know. And I like, who is this guy? And I looked, and I found out that's how it was. And I was just shocked that they put in the title of the article, his name apologizes for whatever. They didn't put like teenager that trash talk Cam or whatever apologizes. And honestly, you said we all know his name now. I read his name 50 times that day. I don't remember it.
I don't know his name either, but I don't know his face either. I don't remember his face either. I know his situation,
but his words will live on forever.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
It's just
etched in stone.
He's there to help you, bro, and he's calling him ass. Like, you're gonna be broke.
But he was talking shit first.
There's nothing sadder than seeing somebody get money and then lose it. That's the saddest shit. I always feel.
I don't think Cam's losing his money.
No, he's not going to. But that kid was
you can't
like,
afford those outfits if you're losing your money.
Wait, what?
You can't afford them fits if you're losing money like that.
It's just Cam's response was a little arrogant. But I'm rich. I hate when people do that type of shit. I understand it. He was like, you're gonna be broke and all that. But that kid was so disrespectful. It got on my nerves so much. Like, why are you being an asshole for no reason? Like, yeah, he might have talked shit or said something you didn't like, but he didn't get disrespectful with it like you were. You were disrespecting this guy's whole fucking, his job, his legacy and all that.
Cameras only started rolling when Cam was the victim. We don't know what happened before that.
I don't think he said anything to get that type of treatment from a kid he's trying to fucking help. Like, come on.
More quarterback talk. Big Ben. Apparently, the Steelers want him back.
Really? They want him back? Are you sure he didn't beg them to please have me back? Please!
I think they're avoiding the Eli situation when they benched him for fucking Geno Smith and it ruined his streak.
It's so obvious.
But that season was already over with the Giants. Steelers, they have a whole year ahead of them. It's obvious they have talent.
It's obvious he's not the guy anymore. It's obvious, bro.
He's not even a guy anymore. He's barely walking.
Come on, dude. I'm actually happy because fuck the Steelers. Yes, please keep Big Ben. But it's just why, bro? It's so I get it. He's a team legend. Won 2 Super Bowls. Has been a top 10 quarterback at least for the last 15 years. I get it. But at some time you have to realize the Chargers did last year with the fucking Phillip Rivers. It's time to move on, bro. It's over. He's holding your team back.
I do think though, it's not so much as we'll take Ben back because he wants to be back and so much all he's done for us and they feel bad or whatever, or it's a PR move. I think it's they actually sold themselves into Big Ben because they're so invested in him and they have such blinders on when it comes to how good Big Ben actually was last year. Because if you talk to Steelers fans, I've talked to a couple, they both all of them I've talked to were no, dude, you threw for 40 touchdowns last year.
We're gonna talk about,
and they don't talk about yards per attempt was the worst in the league by far. The offense sucked.
It was a lot of just smoke and mirrors, screen passes and underneath to have their really talented receiver group make plays.
I think it's the 2 rings and all of what they've been through with Big Ben, all the porn addiction, the ups and downs they've been through. And it's I think they saw playoffs for the first time in a couple years last year, and they were maybe Big Ben can rekindle his flame. Tom Brady did it, but
I'm always a proponent of whatever you look like the last 4 games of the regular season the year before is probably what you're gonna be like.
Then Tom Brady.
I said that when the Lions, remember they were 1-7, and then they finished 8-8, and they went on a huge run at the end of the year. They made the playoffs the next year, and I remember at the end of that season, I was they look really good at the end of the year. I think they're going to be a playoff team. And then you see other teams the Ravens. We weren't that as dominant by the end of the year and in the playoffs. And I was people were hyping us up we were a guaranteed Super Bowl contender with up there with the Chiefs. It's I don't know. I don't think our receivers are good enough. And the way we looked at the end of last year, it's going to be tougher. And that's what happened. And then the Steelers, I'm pretty sure, were pretty good or the Browns were good to finish. I don't know. It's ups and downs. I think that the Steelers were so bad at the end of the year, there's no way they're not going to be like that next year if they have Big Ben.
They're definitely going 8-8 next year. And Big Ben's throwing 20-20.
I just he can't win you a game from behind because he struggles to push the ball downfield consistently.
I think he has a hard time winning games from ahead right now.
They couldn't win shit at the end of last year. They looked so bad against the Browns in the playoffs, bro. He was so trash. I just don't think the Steelers are going to be that good next year. I think it's mostly because they're going to have Big Ben. Because that team is talented, especially the defense.
Well, everywhere I see free agency predictions, everyone has Juju leaving. And honestly, I don't even think that's that big of a loss.
I don't. He's a good receiver. But
he's a good number 2, I feel like.
But they have a lot of good receivers. That's why I don't think
Chase
it's that big
Claypool,
of a loss.
Deontay Johnson. Who else they got?
I don't remember. Don't they have Eric Ebron?
They have one of the many small white guys from North Carolina.
Oh, Ryan Switzer.
There you go.
But I mean, and they have a really talented running.
Connor's a free agent.
Yeah, but they had Benny Snell look pretty good by the end of the year.
Come on.
They have Samuel, and they're probably going to draft or sign somebody. I would imagine they're going to bring back James Conner. I think they're going to bring back James Conner.
I want playoff Lenny back, but I think he's going to be too much money to keep with all our free agents. I could see him just going from Pittsburgh.
I could see that. I just have to see their cap situation. I just think that the next year that division is going to be between Cleveland and Baltimore. And even us, we have a lot of free agents, especially on our front 7 with not Calais Campbell, our 2 starting edge rushers and fucking Matthew Judon and fucking Yannick Ngakoue. And I read something that it looks like most likely we're going to lose both of them. So I could see this Ravens defense taking a huge hit.
What'd you give up
year.
for Ngakoue at the trade deadline?
We gave up a 3rd round pick. And
that's not bad. Did he do good for you guys this year?
He finished with 8 sacks this last year. He's had 8 the last year. I mean,
how many with you guys?
I think he had like 3. But I mean, he didn't play as much as I thought he would. Judon is just like, he's gonna get money like Zadarius Smith got, and I don't want to pay him that much. He's not consistent enough. He's not a.
I remember Zadarius Smith. We both said he got overpaid because he's a good player, not great. He never had production earn that contract, but he's been a beast with Green Bay.
But you could see, like when he was with the Ravens, I didn't agree with that contract when it happened because I've watched him for 4 years. I'm like, he's a guy that if he got more playing time, he could be a solid to pretty good one. But I didn't think he'd be as dominant, like one of the best pass rushers in the league, like he's been with the Packers. Nobody saw that shit coming.
You know who's slowly becoming one of my favorite players is Jason Pierre-Paul.
He's like I was watching Super Bowl.
He's just good vibes all around, bro.
Bro, like he was just gassing everybody up when he's like during the Super Bowl when he was mic'd up, and he was like obviously the leader of that defense with Devin White, and he's just like I would want to play for that.
Dude, he's
guy.
like renovating his whole house, changing everything, and he put like you know on the Instagram stories when someone has a shit ton, it's like little dots like when they have so much on their story. Literally, he like in like 30 minutes full of like him just showing around his house and what he's doing to it and all the new shit. And I watched every single one of them. I was 30 minutes just watching most boring shit, but his energy is just like he's always thinking about like trying to get a win or like how he's trying to be better, how hype he is. And it's just and he does it all with 7 fingers, and he's cool about the 7 fingers. He makes jokes about his fingers, like he lets Lenny roast him about his fingers.
But what do you think about Dwayne Haskins? Do you think he's better than Big Ben at this point?
No.
Yeah, no.
Dwayne Haskins is pretty bad. He was very bad.
He was very bad. Like Taylor Heineke.
He couldn't beat out a guy with one leg.
Or Taylor Heineke.
Or Taylor Heineke, that guy. I'm going to respect that guy because he shit on the Bucs. He's 1 for 1 on shitting on NFL defenses, and it's the Bucs, of course.
I just with Big Ben at quarterback, I just don't see the Steelers doing much of anything next year.
The thing is, you could see his arm getting worse throughout the year. You could tell like his body just can't keep up with the NFL game anymore.
I just think the wear and tear is getting to him. And I just think it has to be his last year next year.
Especially in quarantine, I can't imagine how much porn he's up to nowadays. Like I don't.
He gave it up. He said
his body's giving up. Now I think his mind might be out of it.
He's gonna go back to his porn addiction.
I hope. Do you think Big Ben jerks off with his left arm to save his throwing arm?
No. I don't know. I don't think about that.
Do you think quarterbacks ever do that?
I don't know, but Big Ben, it's possible with his Tommy John surgery on his
Big
right
Ben's
arm.
a wild thinker. I feel he's a free thinker. I feel like he would I think he would have those thoughts sometimes. Like maybe I should save my throwing shoulder for tomorrow. So.
I think he just lays in a body cast in his bed when he's home, just all day.
He just like opens up like
you know, like on SpongeBob, the guy's like every day I break my arms, and every morning I break my legs or whatever. Remember that guy?
I think
the chocolate bar episode.
Yeah.
Like and you saw after like he fell down the stairs, he's in like everything is bandaged up, his leg is lifted, he's got shit around his head, a thermostat. That's what Big Ben looks like.
Well, when you said that, I was picturing like when Darth Vader's like on the operating table and they're putting the robots are putting everything on him. I just picture like a full body cast that's like on his in his bed, and he can just like he just lays into it and it closes automatically over top of him.
It has a number 7 on top of it. With a little Big Ben clock behind
and there's
him.
just a laptop on the chest opened up to Pornhub where he doesn't have to use his arm.
For the Steelers' sake, they shouldn't go back with Big Ben, but it's obviously they are at this point. I just think they're just gonna be trash next year. Maybe not trash, but they're not gonna be a contender, even if they make the playoffs as like a 7 or 6 seed. I just don't see the Steelers.
Are they doing the 7 teams next year?
Yeah. It was such a success this year because everybody...
Super Wildcard Weekend was dope.
It was dope. You had 6 games and there was a bunch of good matchups.
And we got a Nickelodeon game out of it.
Like, think about
Slime.
The Ravens and Titans game was the ESPN game on Wildcard Weekend, which we all know is where they put the most trash game.
We all know that's where the Texans go, and they just weren't in the playoffs.
But that game was like there were so many good games on Wildcard Weekend. There's no way they'll ever go back. And that
Saturday at 12 on ESPN playoffs Wildcard Weekend just screams Texans. It just didn't feel right. It felt like Ravens vs. Titans felt like a 2001 playoff game.
It was weird because the whole game was just a weird vibe, just on ESPN, and like when Lamar threw that first interception, I just remember I was like, oh my god, they're gonna shit on him so hard. Thank God he ran for like 100 whatever yards, and had that huge touchdown run. But in my opinion, the Steelers won't be in the playoffs next year.
All right, so it's a lot of talk. I think we got out of the way. I think that's enough for today. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
No.
We're gonna next week. We're gonna add a starting five to the. We're gonna bring back starting fives. It's a popular segment, but all the politics and setting up a draft. Just ask the NFL and NBA. It's so much going on. It's hard.
We'll officially get into NBA talk next week.
Yeah, we're gonna have a state of the NBA address.
And how shitty the East is. But I won't say anything until next week.
Save it.
Yeah.
So maybe the East will be good in a week's time.
No. But
yeah, I don't know why.
When your 4 seed is like one game over 500, there's no way
the Celtics are 15 and 16. I think we're still the 5 seed. So. But all right, that's it. Thank you for listening. Peace.